Thank you for joining myself, Jason Winters, along with Jacob, Toni, and Sabrina to talk about safety issues in the workplace. Here at Uretsky Security, we believe that our mission statement is in direct correlation to safety issues in the workplace. Our mission statement says that our objective is to remain committed to the quality service and strengthening the connection between our employees and clients. By having policies and procedures about safety issues, we're able to commit to this and provide quality service. The safety issues that we are going to explain are tobacco issues, alcohol, drug testing, and background checks. So why do we have these tobacco policies? It is becoming much more common for employers to have tobacco policies. This is because many companies have seen the benefits that it provides. These policies create a link between us, the company, and the employees. This makes it possible to show what we stand for and what we represent to anyone who has any contact with us. Tobacco policies protect everyone. It protects the company, the employees, and also the customers. No matter who you are the reason we have these policies. Now let's look more into how it protects the company. One big aspect of this is how it increases productivity. It promotes a healthier workplace so people end up feeling much better. This causes people to be much more productive. It also is directly tied to healthcare costs. Companies are estimated to save more than $6,000 every year by having a smoke-free workplace. This is because we are able to get lower rates on health insurance coverage by having fewer employees use tobacco. It also protects the employees. It promotes a teamwork environment. By having a healthier environment, people are less likely to miss work due to sicknesses. When people are not missing work, this cuts down on the extra work that others would have had to do to cover for them. It also makes it a fair work environment. Instances where some very good candidates that would have been perfect for a job may have smoked. But by having a policy on tobacco, the company would have to follow these policies and not be able to hire that person. This makes it fair for everyone, and exceptions cannot be made. Now let's take a look at alcohol.
Alcohol abuse in the workplace. Alcohol abuse results in calling in sick or missing work. It impacts many of the people at work. It impacts the quality of work, such as turning in late assignments, missing deadlines, and a lack of quality in work. It also affects the employer because the employer needs to find other employees to complete the assignments, which then results paying those employees overtime. There could be possible insurance claims if there are issues while at work, or there could be work-related injuries. An example, an injury while using a machine while under the influence of alcohol. Companies offer services to help employees. Those services are called Employee Assistance Programs, or EAP. The Employee Assistance Programs provide counseling, either self or family, and they also refer to treatment facilities to help those with addiction issues. The employee is able to self-refer if they are acknowledging the fact that they do have an addiction, or it can be anonymous, having somebody else make that recommendation for the employee.
Drug testing is a very serious thing. Most companies do drug testing because safety is their number one priority in keeping the workplace safe. There are many different types of drug testing, like random drug testing, which could be reasonable suspicion or just being randomly picked out. 1 out of 3 workers being sent to a third party to be drug tested, or there could be scheduled drug testing where you are scheduled to go every 3 months. There is also pre-employment where you are sent to a third party to be tested, and then post-rehabilitation where you are coming back to work from either being laid off or being hurt in the workplace. Drug testing normally checks for controlled substances. There are many different types of controlled substances it checks for. You are required to have a proof of prescriptions to any prescriptions that you've taken a month prior to the drug testing. When you go for the drug test, you are required to pee in a cup. After that, they separate the urine into 2 cups. The reason for this is because if your drug test becomes positive and you know you haven't been doing drugs, you can take the other urine sample somewhere else and have it tested.
Criminal background checks. According to a report led by the Society for Human Resource Management, approximately 2/3 of organizations conduct criminal background checks on all of their job candidates. These background checks can include incidents from their personal life as well as job-related. Several reasons employers conduct background screening. The first is to avoid negligent hiring. Employers can be held liable for the actions of an employee. This threat gives reason to be vigilant in checking an applicant's history. Number 2 is terrorist acts. Due to previous acts of terrorism, employers must now enforce a heightened identity, verification, and security strategies. Number 3 is corporate scandals. Poor choices lead to corporate executives, officers, and directors facing multiple levels of scrutiny. Number 4 is federal and state law requirements. Most states require criminal background checks and possibly extensive investigation for security clearance for anyone working with children, elderly, or the disabled. Benefits of employment background screening extend past the realm of just the employer. Information found in these checks can benefit the public as well. Having a criminal record does not mean you cannot obtain employment. However, the general public is more protected when those with criminal backgrounds are not put into certain positions. Positions that require working with children would avoid those who have a history of a violence or a sex offense. Those who have a history of fraud would not be put into a position that requires honesty or integrity. There is an advantage of criminal background checks to the employee as well. In some cases, due to human error, there have been mistakes made with individuals who have similar last names or social security numbers. In an event that an employer does not hire an employee due to a criminal background check, the employee can look into that reason. If the reason is not valid, the employee can dispute the history and clear themselves with the help of a professional. Had the employer not done the criminal background check, the employee would have never known the error.
We want to thank you for taking the time to go over this information with us and see why these policies are necessary for the company, seeing who they protect, why they benefit us and you, and seeing the importance of safety issues in the workplace.